Okay, so as many of you are aware, I run a marketing agency called New Market Growth. And within my work, I'm talking to lenders all the time, specifically as it pertains to their affiliate programs. And today we're just going to recap the things I hear most often, or the things I find most often, rather, of why things aren't working for a lender's affiliate marketing channel. The struggles usually come in one of these three flavors. The first one is I'm not getting in the volume I want from this channel. So let's say I'm doing a couple thousand accounts, but I want to get to 20,000. So there's kind of this sense of like, yeah, this channel's interesting, but I'm not getting the throughput I need. That's number one. Number two is the quality of the accounts that I'm getting from this channel aren't quite there. That could be either through utilization on the loans aren't there. Let's say if it's a credit card, you're not getting enough revolve or enough balance on the usage, or typically loss rates tend to be too high when the channel isn't working. And then the third one is more of a first world problem, I would say, where quality's good, volume's good, but I want to grow. So those are the flavors of the struggles most commonly. We're going to dive in. I have 11 reasons here. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. I don't think the idea here today is to solve all of these problems, but more just to kind of level set with what I hear from the market. And I'll give a few ideas on how you can resolve or make traction against some of these common challenges. The goal of today's episode is more to calibrate you on what's common, like what are the common issues around, and that might be helpful so that you can have some awareness on what might be company specific stuff that's uniquely your challenge versus what are just general challenge pretty much everyone's faces. And there's playbooks around all this stuff. So if any of these challenges are present in your organization and you want to go deeper, you can contact me. My info's in the show notes. I'd be happy to chat through to see how kind of what guidance I would give for your specific situation. So let's just kind of jam through these common problems. I'll also hit on kind of the most common solves. So number one, you are not growing or don't have the right quality or don't have enough volume because you don't have a cross-functional effort on the channel. Okay? So what this looks like is usually there's an affiliate marketing manager who's on an island. They are dealing with the partnerships team. They are dealing with the partner, and they are doing the best they can with the cards that they've been dealt. But unfortunately, the cards they've been dealt aren't very good, usually, if they're working on an island. So that's kind of common in that setup. And number two, there's not usually an accountable executive. So with the wrong cross-functional effort, there's no accountable exec. And by that, I mean kind of a GM, senior level executive in the company that can make decisions across product, pricing, lending, around the economics of a particular affiliate deal, decisions around things like promotions you might run, etc. So ideally, you want a single person that can make all those calls. When things aren't working, this is usually a problem. So generically, what you want to do is get somebody senior involved that can run the program. But you also need to arm that senior person with analytics, product, engineering, partnerships, finance, kind of that whole cross-functional group that can go get things done. Again, with the goal of improving the marketing funnel. That's why this has to be cross-functional. So in the setup where your affiliate marketing manager's on an island, they're probably hearing from the affiliate partner, look, I'd love to help you hit that 10,000 account per month goal that you have, but you convert at 3% and the field's converting at 10. Yeah, you could try to raise your CPA. That might help a little, but dang, your product isn't working. Your marketing funnel isn't converting. And that's really when they need to pull in the whole cast of characters I mentioned earlier to get that job done. That's number one. Number two is your model is not well aligned. And when I say model, your targeting model. So I'm talking about channels like Credit Karma, Experian, Credit Sesame, Wallet Hub. These are examples of channels that have the ability to host your targeting strategy on their end. So these channels have authenticated audiences. When they log in, the publisher knows their credit score. Often they know hundreds of credit attributes. And if you've been working with them on a targeting model, you can tell them your criteria and they'll only serve your ads when you hit that criteria. And presumably when that happens, your approval rate will be really high and you can communicate that certainty to the customer somehow. So the failure mode here is you just haven't done the work. You're sitting there saying, okay, yeah, I want to compete in affiliate, and I want to have a great marketing funnel, but we chucked some quick model over to the partner. We didn't really translate that model exactly, right? We want to be using the exact same attributes on both sides, the exact same FICO, the exact same custom attributes, all of that. So when things aren't growing and things aren't working, I usually see model misalignment. So model alignment has to be a first-class citizen, and usually this means engineering, analytics, credit are all working together to not only upload a model that's highly aligned, but you also want to create a framework so that when the back-end model gets updated, the front-end model updates along with it. Otherwise, within a couple quarters, all the work you were celebrating is going to go out of date because the targeting models stay stagnant on the front end and then the back end model keeps changing. I've talked about this in greater depth on prior episodes. Check out the episode called Levers. So, number 3, you are struggling with the compliance approval rate management of your program. So, what am I even talking about here? So, some of the affiliates you will work with will ask you to hit a certain approval rate in order to communicate a certain level of approval rate certainty to their customers. These are all decisions that each publisher has to make. But if you are struggling with hitting that target, let's say the target, and I'm just making this up, let's say the target is 70% or 75%. That's the target the publisher has given you to hit in order to preserve that certainty that they're communicating to the customer. If your model's misaligned, you're going to have a tough time hitting it. And if you don't hit it, eventually the partner's going to have to take some corrective action there to change how the offer is presented to the customer. And you don't want to lose these approval badges because they're important. They help your CTR, they help your customer quality. So if things aren't working, that might be a place to look. Ask your team, hey, how are we managing compliance? Do we have a weekly review? Are we getting really diligent around decline reasons? Because ultimately, if your approval rate isn't where you want it to be, you need to study your decline reasons in detail and then compare your targeting model to your decline reasons and see if there's something that can be done on the front end to make some adjustments there. Number 4, and this one's straightforward, so I'm going to spend a couple seconds here. Application friction. If your application page loads slowly, if it's asking for 100 fields, and all your competitors have a one-page app and they ask for 15 fields, you're going to lose. There's just very little you're going to be able to do here to stay competitive in the affiliate game. Again, the predominant principle here we keep coming back to is like the marketing funnel, the compounding of the whole funnel, all the way from click rate to application rate to approval rate to funding if you have that step in your funnel. Every step matters. And so in this example, if your application rate's 15% and everyone else is at 30 or 35, your funnel can only be half as good as everyone else because you're probably not going to make up 50% difference on CTR or approval rate because you're somewhat capped, especially on approval rate. You're somewhat capped. On CTR, you could potentially make it up, but it's going to be hard unless your product is phenomenal. Next one would be your pricing. So let's say you're in a personal loan context. If your rates are just too high for whatever reason, these marketplaces are very rate sensitive. So customers go in there, they know what loan amount they want. If you're priced at 18.9% and the field is at 14.9 in your segment, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter how well your model is aligned. It doesn't matter how good your application page is because your CTR is just going to be too low. You're going to be ranked on the bottom of the page, most likely. Customers may never even see your offer. And even if they do, it's not going to look very compelling relative to their options. So watch out for pricing. The marketplaces will generally tell you what the field looks like. They may even produce like a distribution chart that says, hey, the median's here, the top 25 is here, the bottom is there. Or they may give you some other different view. But it's in their best interest to tell you what the market looks like so that you don't show up with an uncompetitive product. Because if you do, you're not going to win. They're not going to get any transactions from it. It's a waste of everybody's time. So nail your pricing and lean on your publishers to tell you what the right place to land is there. And just one other note here on pricing. Expect negative select from these channels or any channel. I mean, this is not an affiliate-specific thing I'm talking about here. If you were to enter direct mail or search or any channel and you're materially above market, the customers that are going to be drawn towards you are probably going to be the ones that have tried applying to the banks with the better rate and have gotten declined. So that's going to leave you with a negatively selective pool. So number 6, if you are struggling with volume, quality, or not growing enough, your problem may be you don't have access to the larger affiliate marketplaces. And the ones I tend to think of here, at least from an authenticated user standpoint, are Credit Karma and Experian. So you want to be in those two channels. The combination of those two marketplaces ends up being a meaningful share of the affiliate market, especially if you're in the card or personal loan category. This is different. For example, if you're in mortgages, the market just looks a little different. Or if you're in small business lending, for example, that market is going to look likely different. But you want to be in those channels, and you're going to want to pitch yourself in the right way. And I've covered this in prior episodes. So number 7, another common struggle I hear quite a bit is that, hey, I'm too concentrated, meaning affiliates either too big in general, or I have 1 or 2 or 3 affiliates that compose the vast majority of my volume within affiliate. Given the dynamic of the market, if you're playing in all the affiliate publisher channels and you're succeeding in all of them, I expect you're going to see some concentration among the top 2, at least, maybe even the top 3. So to some extent, that's kind of just a structural dynamic here of playing the affiliate marketing game or being in the channel, is because there aren't 10 equal-sized affiliates that you can go partner with that will all contribute 10% of your affiliate marketing volume. Unfortunately, that's just not how this works today. I know many lenders would wish that to be different. That's life right now in 2024. So what do you do about this? I think a couple things. One is just acknowledge that it is what it is. So start looking at volatility over time, like get your executive team, your board, your stakeholders comfortable that there's going to be volatility. Because when you're concentrated in a couple large affiliate partners, your volumes aren't going to be as predictable as if you had 10 affiliates, each contributing 10%. So concentration means more volatility. If concentration is a concern, I mean, there's really only 2 choices here. You can either make affiliates smaller so that it's a smaller percentage of your book. By the way, I've never seen a single lender love that option. I have seen some lenders say, look, too much concentration here. Let's dial this back a little, even if it means I'm leaving accounts booked on the table, because there's just kind of some stability reasons and predictability reasons why I may want that to be the case. So I actually think there are some, probably the larger banks, who could rationally make that decision. I have yet to see it in a growth company context. So when I said, hey, I've never seen a company say I want less affiliate, I was kind of thinking a growth startup-y type environment. So I haven't seen that. Option 2 is where I see more lenders solve the problem is, hey, lean into other stuff. Go build DM, go build search, go build social, go build influencer, go build direct-to-consumer, branch, strategic partners. There's a number of ways you can diversify your acquisition book that doesn't involve proactively shrinking your affiliate. And that's generally how that's dealt with. Number 8, cold starts. I could probably ramble on forever on cold starts, but here's the problem. You're new into an affiliate marketplace. The affiliate has lots of ongoing relationships with other lenders, oftentimes your direct competitors, and then you're the new kid on the block. And they don't really know what to do with your offer. They don't know how it performs. They don't know how much they're going to earn per click, per ad impression. They're all going to have different metrics they care about as far as monetization, but you're going to be an unknown entity. And therefore, your volumes will start small. You'll get secondary placements because, again, they're trying to get as much tangible information as they can gather themselves before they start placing huge bets on your product, your marketing funnel. Because, again, you're not a known entity. And their failure mode would be to take a known entity that's been performing, pull them out of a placement, put you in only to have you not convert the traffic, and therefore they take a top line loss on revenue. There's a couple things you can do. One is offer a competitive CPA right out of the gate. If you're trying to get a deal or a bargain, this is the wrong time to be doing that because you're actually trying to convince your affiliate partner of the opposite. You're trying to convince them that your offer monetizes well. And then the second thing you can do is control your upfront targeting. So ideally, you're launching with a targeting model. And I know I went on and on earlier about model alignment and how important that is. When you're first launching, you don't need the perfect model. It would be great if you had it, but a model that's going to cut out all the obvious declines is a no-brainer. The challenge here that would be really difficult to overcome is you don't have a targeting model at all, and you're cold starting. It's just going to take a long time for your partner to find your sweet spot and to eventually scale your ad into enough placements so that you're getting meaningful volume. Okay, number 9, reasons why, again, you're struggling, you're not getting enough volume, quality, or growth is you've entered a crowded category with no differentiation. You may have had a strong business for the last couple of decades. You may have a good brand. But if you're new to affiliates, just kind of remind yourself the context here is highly competitive. Your offer is being put side by side against your competitors. So we talked about the cold start problem and how hard it is to be new. So ideally, you're offsetting some of that cold start challenge with some differentiation, either on your product or on the segmentation and the audience you're serving it to. Something should be different. Something quantifiable should be different about what you're doing here. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to stand out. Number 10, and we only got 11 here, so we're down to the last couple here. I see lenders playing what I just call a CPA negotiation game. They think they're playing this fun game where they win when they pay the lowest CPA. And look, you can go to all your affiliates probably tomorrow, at least the majority of them, and just say, hey, look, I'm going to pay 20% less. And like, just given the nature of your contracts with them, they're going to say, okay, well, reluctantly fine, guys, we'll take that 20% lower bounty. And it's going to feel good for 5 days because your volume's not going to look any different and your CPA will be down, and maybe you'll even get a couple high fives from your CMO or your CFO. But here's how this will play out. They're going to notice the monetization on your ad came down. They're going to restack and reorder all the offers, and then your volume will go down and your quality will go down, generally speaking. Not always true, but as a general expectation, that's what I think you will find across kind of the broad swath of affiliate marketing that you do. So then what you did is you're paying now less for less. Okay, that's not really a winning strategy. You've chosen to pay less and you're getting less. So not really something you want to be doing. Again, the nature of the game is best monetization funnel. CPA is part of that equation. So if anything, I tend to lean towards paying top of market because I know that gets me an advantage when it comes to placements, racking, volume of ads, etc. But my favorite move is, let's just have a killer marketing funnel. Let's have the best product with the highest CTR, a killer application funnel. Ideally, it's pre-filled or hosted by your affiliate partner, so it's really clean and easy to get through. And then an application rate that's just world-class through best possible model alignment. And then again, CPA, if it's top of market, that's just an additional lever to that whole equation. But ideally, you just have the best funnel and maybe kind of a middle of pack CPA, so that you're paying median, but because the rest of your funnel is amazing, your monetization is actually top of segment, top of industry, top of product class. Stop playing the CPA negotiation game. There's no game to be played. When you pay more, you get more. You pay less, you get less. And then number 11, this one's a little bit more meta. There's not really a whole lot to say here, but there's often kind of this organizational attitude, I guess is the best way to describe it, of, hey, affiliate marketing is easy. I come in, I'll set a CPA, I'll sign these contracts, I'll give the affiliates my marketing bullets and a link, and they're just going to make it rain for me. So when you're in this mindset, you're entitled to the volume and the share you think you have across the market. Let's say, for the sake of the example, let's say you think you have 25% of the direct mail market and you've been at it for a while. Well, you have 25% of that market because you've worked really hard to optimize your ad and improve your funnel and make sure you have the right products. And you've probably spun through and iterated, 30 times in the last, 5 years to get there. So you've earned that share. If you go in affiliate and chuck your link and expect 25% market share, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to get 2% market share if you don't invest, because everyone else in the game has been optimizing their funnel and their product specifically in the affiliate context. And you can't just assume that what's been working in direct mail is going to work here. Parting thought here on, if you think the game is easy, you're almost certainly going to lose, because it suggests that all the things I've talked about today are not top of mind for you. They're not important to you. And you just kind of assume if you're present in these affiliate marketplaces that that's enough to get your entitlement market share or whatever number you had in your head when you came in. So there you go. Those are the reasons I hear through talking to lenders for why they don't have enough account volume through the channel, why their account quality isn't good enough, and why they're not growing fast enough. If you've enjoyed today's episode and you want to support the podcast, here are a few things you can do. So the first would be just write a review on the podcast. It should take you less than 30 seconds, but just one-liner that describes why you found the episode valuable. 2 would be share it on social media. So find the episode link, post it on LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever you consume business content. And then the 3rd would be give me feedback directly on how this could be better, what content I could come with that will educate you and help you build your program. And the last thing you can do is just send me questions. Let me know what's on your mind, and that'll help me create content for future episodes. So thanks for spending the time with me today, and I'll see you next time.